So often we're trying to understand reality through sitting in the constricted energy of the problem. And what I found is we need to expand our energy back out to who we are through source, creator, and grounding. And that's when we can receive the messages from the universe. That's when we can align to the next step and what's most in flow for us.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Freedom Culture Podcast. I'm sitting here with the beautiful Zoe Davenport, and I don't actually know a lot about her, so we're just going to get to know her all together here and hear the wonderful things that she's working on and what she's doing. Welcome, Zoe.
Hi, thank you.
So, yeah, what do you do? Tell me about yourself.
What do I do? So, what I do is essentially help people to embody that they're enough and they're loved for who they are. And the doing, the how, is through my multidimensional connection to source and my gifted abilities as a psychic and energy activator. And what that means is I'm able to tune into someone's frequency, meet them where they're at on a level, and pull out of them of what their heart is really wanting them to know and where they're really wanting to be guided in their reality. And some say I accelerate somebody's potential, even through conversation or just in my energy or what we have to flow with each other. And over the years, I've developed these techniques, and which is really me just being the full expression of I am, so that I can help others embody that. And I do this through running quite intimate, deep immersions, one-on-one retreats, group containers online, and then also kind of group retreats as well, so that we can really activate somebody's soul wealth, which really means activating their soul purpose and creating their reality in self-love.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved what you said about that they're enough and that they're loved. That's brilliant, and it sounds like pretty intense work.
So yeah, I mean, there's all different. Like, life is about perspectives, and I play in the most expanded container of consciousness, and so I always have my clients, and even in the messages that I share, I always have people be met in their full expression. And I was sharing this morning in the workshop that so often we're trying to understand reality through sitting in the constricted energy of the problem. And what I found is we need to expand our energy back out to who we are through source, creator, and grounding. And that's when we can receive the messages from the universe. That's when we can align to the next step and what's most in flow for us. So a lot of times I'm working with real deep-seated limiting beliefs and fears and pains and traumas and shame and suffering. But it's done in such a light and activating way that half the time people don't even realize that that's what we're doing. Because I get them to meet themselves in their full expression. So then it's like anything that was coming up for them or held them back for so long feels so insignificant. And I'm always blown away at the repetitive simplicity that comes through me of helping people to evolve and shift into who they want to be. Because they're blown away, like, what, you really mean it was that all along? I was like, yeah. So that's great. Now we've got you understanding that the universe is meeting you where you're at. It's giving you a simple, direct answer and solution to your problem through the I am presence of source, creator, and expansion. What's next? Wow, step this way. There's a multiple versions of what can come through for you in terms of sharing your creative expression.
Oh, that's brilliant. So how, I'm listening to this, I'm really curious how did that play out for you? How did you find your niche here and because this sounds like quite a calling. And you had to step into it at some point. How did that happen for you?
So I say I had my spiritual awakening around 10 years ago where really I just hit rock bottom. And I questioned, like, how have I got this so wrong? How did I get to a point in my life where I was so miserable and nothing was working? Like, everything was a struggle and uphill. And it's almost like I gave myself permission to finally listen to what I had been ignoring inside for so long, which is the truth.
Yeah.
The truth being that I've always been really psychic, and I've always been a multidimensional channel. I've always been really aware of energy. And I ignored all that because that wasn't normal, that wasn't spoken about. And so fast forward, I finally gave myself permission to get to know myself. And I didn't know who I was. At the time, I was definitely in a life that wasn't aligned to me. I knew that, but I didn't know who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And as I gave myself permission to get to know myself, I felt this being inside me that was wanting to emerge. This being, this version of Zoe that doesn't smoke, that doesn't need to drink caffeine every day, that doesn't need to drink alcohol to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, this version that is genuinely just happy for being happy.
Yeah.
And so the evolution of the last 10 years has led me down many different roads and paths of consciousness, of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, string theory, but also of energy. And also the biggest transformation is really of self-love.
Yeah.
And tying all those pieces in together, I retrained in massage therapy. And I got to a point with massage where I was being so activated, connecting with a person. I could tell you the reason why they had back pain was because they hadn't spoken to their mum for 6 months.
Yeah.
Or there was energy that was wanting to stream through my hands to this person. And I realized, like, wow, these people are just seeing me for a massage.
Yeah.
I need to develop a way that I can show up fully in what these gifts are, and that people are coming to me for that.
Yeah.
And the evolution fast forward has been beautiful of just playing and experimenting with how can I deliver this message in a way that is reachable to those that are ready to receive the message. And it's beautiful now. We have, you know, the online presence. We're able to show up in a way. But it took a lot of getting out of my own way and trusting in my heart that I had to start sharing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth of who I am. And even today, I'm still a little bit like, how multidimensional can I go? And I realize now that I want people to meet me where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so if I keep holding that space, people are fascinated and they're excited and they're on their journey. And people that are guided to work with me, generally they don't know why, but they just have a calling in their heart.
Yeah.
And they resonate with that message. So, yeah, it's beautiful. I just get to play, honestly. I just get to play and help bridge the gap between 3D duality, 5D neutrality, and making it in simplicity, creating it through simplicity. Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun. Getting to play. Do you remember the first time like that you were like, okay, it's not just massage, like you just said like I need to figure out a way where people can come to me to receive my whole gift and everything I have to offer? Do you remember that first time that you gave that gift and somebody came to you for that? What was that like? You don't have to give like names or examples or anything.
So
but like,
during
what was it?
The massage, you mean? Or
No, like when you were massaging and you were like, okay, I have something more to offer.
Yeah.
And then you went into
And
that.
I
And
allowed
then the
myself.
first time that you did a session like that, do you
Yeah.
remember what that was like?
Yeah, it was, let me think, because there's been so many. Yeah, it was with a client that came to me for a massage, and I felt really guided to let myself channel through what energy needed to come through. And I felt into her energy, and I felt her energy give me permission to drop in deeper. And so I did, and I allowed myself to just flow with that. So there was symbols coming through, different codes, and also through the body work of massage. And afterwards, I had some time because I hadn't had another client after. And I sat with her, and she looked at me, and she said, "You weren't doing a massage, were you? Like, I could feel myself asking you and sharing that it was okay. And I said, yeah, like I feel that you were ready. And it was the first time that I felt I was really seen in my full expression. And I remember at that point that I needed to explore this.
Yeah.
I needed to evolve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that must have been a beautiful moment. Like an exciting time to realize what your potential is and how much you can actually, like you said at the beginning, accelerate people's growth into stepping into their full power and being. Yeah. So you do that one-on-one and then also in group settings. What does that look like in a group setting?
I love group work because the intentions of the group are amplified, and all of the work that people do on themselves individually in a group container is also amplified.
Yeah.
So someone's going through a particular process, that's also the people in that container are also receiving that energy. I found that I like to build tribes. I like to connect people, and I'm a good connector. And many group programs that I have run, people are still friends to this day from those sessions.
Yeah.
And it allows people to know that they're not alone. They're not alone in their journey. They're not alone in their story. They're not alone in what they're wanting to evolve into. And it creates a beautiful space for people to kind of like cheer each other on and co-create together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds beautiful and so exciting. Does it ever... because you're taking on so much energy from people. Do you ever need to step back and be like, okay, it's time to recharge?
Yeah, so what's happened over the years is I have really struggled to understand just quite how much space that I need to download new information for myself and to bring that back into the containers that I create with my clients. And so generally I have the whole of December off. And this year I had pretty much the whole of December and most of January. I was due to run a group program in January, and I got the clear message from the universe I needed to postpone it till March. And I recognize now that trusting and giving myself that space really allowed me to show up for myself and to clear through any of my blocks and limiting beliefs so that I could really show up in a better way for my clients. And I regularly do energetic management with all of my programs that I run, and have regular sessions myself to release.
Okay. So you get your time to like step back, re-energize so you can be fully present for who you're working with.
Yeah.
Cool. So you follow a program yourself as well? Or a program? Do you have like a coach, or you go to somebody semi-regularly to work on? So what does that... I'm always curious about this. Being an energetic worker and a coach and somebody who works with that, is it different when you're receiving it because you also know what it's like to get... So me, for example, when I'm receiving energetic work, I don't know what it's like to be on the other side of that. And so I've only ever been on the receiving side. But I can imagine it... Does it feel weird when you know, like, I know what they're doing? Like...
So I just allow myself to fully surrender to receiving. I don't have everyone work on me because quite often what happens, if I'm not totally present with someone I'm booking in with, because of my energy, they tend to then start dipping into sharing stuff about them for the whole session. And I feel like I'm actually... They're giving me a session, but I'm actually holding space for them. Yeah. And so I'm very mindful as to who I let work on my energy. And I'm not closed off to all situations, but I just feel into flow. Like, is this person ready to hold me in the space that I need? Yeah. And quite often I do need people that are in that kind of, have those leadership qualities and are very... into alignment with their own energetic signatures so that they can meet me where I'm at and help me to ascend higher. So yeah, I always work with personal coaches, business coaches. When I say coach, I really mean galactivated multidimensional channels and people that can really like help me to bring in and hold a vision for what's wanting to come through. I do a lot of energy work on myself, like daily. I'm always feeling into, what I need in that moment. And that's the beauty of these gifts is, they're for self healing as well. So yeah.
That's brilliant and so important. If you don't take care of yourself first, how can you take care of others, right? Yeah. I mean, even if you don't have the gift of healing, I think that's so true because however you're holding space for others, like you need to hold space for yourself as well. Yeah. So when you first started this, because you said that you had suppressed it for a while because it wasn't normal and you weren't quite sure, how was it to step in and then have to tell and to tell your friends and family, or did they already know?
So my friends and family, I've never really felt guided. I don't need to share anything with them about what I do. Like I have a soul tribe. I have soul family that I get excited because I know that they can meet me in the space of multidimensional play. Muggle friends, human friends, family. I don't need to be seen by them. And that allows me to really shine in my own expression because I don't need any, I don't need to share. It's an odd one with that because I'm so detached from any kind of like conventional 3D version of what a family is. I recognize I chose my family to accelerate my awakening. I pretty much chose them for me to be born, and then I've been pretty solo since then. They have a family unit. I am part of that family unit, but I'm not really invested in that unit. And so I'm not really, it doesn't, for me, I've never really felt the need to share, but they know what I do. They know what I do. They're curious. But I let people come to me.
Just ask you the questions
because I think honestly, like that's people's biggest struggle with stepping into their spiritual gifts is there is so much fear about judgment around their friends and family and what people will think of them. And the thing is we're not doing it for approval from our friends and family. We're sharing because we have a very potent message for humanity, which is way bigger than the small judgment of one person that is in a linear reality. And so what I found is the more that I step into my expression, my reality mirrors to me perfect synergy. And all of this fear I held for years around what will my friends say, what will my family say, they don't even ask. And that's fine. It's great. And if they want to ask, I'm always open. But I don't need to share for them to see me. But they know that there is something massively different with me in my being and how I conduct myself and how my lifestyle is created. And I feel as I really step more into my role and more people are guided to come into the communities that I build online, anyone, I'm easily Googleable now. And so my family can easily Google me and my friends, and that's fine. But I'd say like most of my friends now, they're pretty awake, they're pretty conscious, and it's fun.
Well, like you said, you choose your family and your friends, like your soul family. I've been finding a lot of my soul family over the past couple of years, and it's a beautiful moment. And I love what you said, like I don't need to share for them to see me, because I think like I don't even know you that well. I've only met you 7 days ago or something like that. It's very short. But you are in your being, and like you are seen, even though I don't know much about you, or didn't until now. But it's such a beautiful thing. And I think a lot of the people that we've been hanging out with the last 7 days, like we all know we're seen for who we are and for our energies. And that's like, I love that you said that, because it's so beautiful. And I think profound for the work that you do. Yeah. And I guess, because you're helping people realize that they're seen just for their energetics, that they, like the energy they share. That's brilliant.
Because really, this desire for people to be seen and accepted by their friends and family, especially when they're transitioning through their awakening, really comes down to self-love. And when you love yourself, you go out there and you do it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what people think. And I remember when I wrote my first book, I had written it with a bit of fear. And I was writing it trying to include some people that I know to try and meet them where they're at. And somebody read through some of the original chapters and she said, "It's amazing, but where's your heart?" And I realized that I'm not writing for people that aren't going to resonate with this message. I'm writing for the soul tribe that is waiting to be activated. And so I went through and I reworked all of the words and wrote and spoke to that person. And that person, in multiple people, have come to me from all over the world and have shared, "I needed to hear what you had to say today, and thank you." And that just fills my heart with joy and makes me want to do it more and more and more and more and just share this. And I get it. You know, I've been on this path for 10 years, and 10 years ago, not many people were at where they're at now. We had to be very separated from each other while we were going through a lot of our density. But as we're shifting, we're starting to come together. The soul tribe is starting to unite, and we're being seen and fully met for who we are without words. Just instant connection and love and community. And that's who we're speaking to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love it. Speaking from your heart. And then that's what needs to happen. Yeah. With or without words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. If, actually, totally different subject. I noticed you have a tattoo here. What does it say? If it's too personal on the...
Sure. So, 5 years ago, I was being attuned to a healing modality called Shambhala multidimensional healing. And when the facilitator was attuning me, I had an instant past life regression on the couch where I was actually in her living room, but also in Atlantis at the same time. I could see the cobbled roads and crystals and full of light beings and guides. And I was sharing with her what I was seeing at the same time. And my hand raised up from the couch and started to draw 6 symbols very vigorously. And it's the first time I'd ever experienced this. And the 2 that I have on my wrists really stuck out of the 6. And I got a strong message from Spirit that I would be receiving many codes, but for now they're going to ease me in gently, because it's like such a higher stream of consciousness that it can kind of sometimes fry our brain cells. And even the facilitator said, "This isn't part of the training. Like, you're being activated to something way more than this. I think we're just in the space for it." And so on the last day, in the final ceremony of those initiations, in meditation, I have my wrists out, and the universe basically tattooed the 2 symbols on my wrist. And they told me I had to get them done in ink. And so the left one, when I'm working with people's energy, in person or remotely, the left one is activating, and the right one is clearing.
Okay.
And I also have one on my heart, on my back, which is a heart portal. And so there's a synergy, there's a triangle, a sacred code, that when I'm bringing through these light frequencies, this whole thing is activated.
That's fascinating. I love it. So if people would like to work with you, or are feeling called through hearing what you're doing and have questions, or yes, I feel like I need to work with her, where can they find you?
Sure. So my website is www.zoedavenport, which is ZOE, davenport.co.uk.
Cool.
And I'm really easy to find on Facebook as well. It's just literally Zoe Davenport. I pop up pretty much at the top.
Right at the top. Cool. And we'll make sure that the links are in the comments so that they can just click. You can click and find it. This has been brilliant. I'm fascinated. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.